Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Chelsea Hornets head soccer coach Lee Miller. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, you've had an eventful, I think it's been 3 weeks since we last met, so we've got a lot to catch up on, don't we?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk about the first game back on April 4th, an area game against Briarwood. You lost a close one there, 1-2. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, we got Briarwood on our home field. We felt good about it. We've been playing well. We actually jumped out to a 1-0 lead.
Right.
To Briarwood's credit, they battled back, tied it up 1-1, and then in the second half, we made a mistake, failed to clear a ball. It fell right to the guy's foot for Briarwood. He was right in front of goal, and all he had to do was tap it in. And so it was an unfortunate break, and got only ourselves to blame. So we lost that game, put Briarwood in a good spot to win the area, which they went on and did.
Right.
And so that left us in a spot where it's either us or Pelham. So that game was coming and loomed large, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. All right. So then on the 7th, you were at Stanhope Elmore. You won that game 3-2. Fantastic. But the one we really want to talk about is the Pelham game.
Correct.
Another area team, very important, especially after losing the last game to Briarwood. You lost to Pelham 2-3, but there's a lot more to that story. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so the scenario was, the way the math worked out is, if we beat Pelham by any score that night, we would be in the playoffs and Pelham would be out.
Right.
If we lost by more than one goal, so if we lost by 2 or more, then we would be out and Pelham would be in.
Boy.
And if we lost by 1, then that would potentially set up another tiebreaker, and we were already on the second tiebreaker, so that would have sent it to the third tiebreaker. And so the way the game went, first of all, in the first half, early in the game, Luke Miller sends a ball over the top to Cooper Bomball, who hits one of the most spectacular goals in the program's history. I mean, it was a real stunner, and you thought, man, here we go, we're flying, we're 1-0, we're gonna, it's gonna be our night.
Yes.
So it didn't go that way. Pelham, put up a great fight. They made a big play, scored a goal, tied it up 1-1.
Right.
Go to halftime at 1-1. We foul a guy in the box early in the second half, so we go down 2-1. But then the real disaster is they got a ball down to the baseline, maybe 15, 20 minutes to go. They lay it back across. We fail to clear it. Their guy comes in. He's wide open. He buries it. So now it's 3-1. So we're down by 2. So at this point, we're eliminated if we don't get one back.
Bit of concern at that point.
So we had some great chances. Their keeper made some big saves. But then it's coming down to the end. We're less than a minute to go, and we're like, man, we were facing elimination. We're about to get eliminated if we don't make it. Like, we're down to our very last opportunity.
Right.
So we get the ball back. There's about 20 seconds left. I remember shouting to other guys, you got time for one chance. Ball gets sent up the line. Cooper Bomball gets it. He's got Max and Parker. He plays the ball into Max, but he plays it behind him. It rolls through everybody. Parker has to go chase it down.
Oh, no.
He sends it back to Max, who has a defender on him, and Max makes a little move, hits the ball in, their keeper dives, and thankfully the ball slips into the corner. So we celebrate like we won the game,
right?
But we lost.
You
it's
lost
3-2.
by 1, but
Pelham took our trophy, that we've had for a while, and now they've got the trophy, for our rivalry. A thunderstorm was rolling in, so we're like, hey, good game, let's get out of here before we get struck by lightning.
Right.
But we salvaged the season, but we're still in trouble because at that point we're down 6 goals on differential throughout all area play. Yeah. So we were at -4 for the season. Pelham was at +2, but we both had 1 game left to play. So that takes us to our next thing. Do we want to get to that?
Spain Park, you beat them 5-1. Tell us the significance of that area game.
So you can only get a maximum of 4 goals in an area game for differential. So it didn't matter how bad we beat them. If we beat them by more than that, you only get credit for 4. So we needed 4 at a minimum, which is what we got.
Right.
Played really great. Came out, scored immediately.
Nice.
Immediately made a mistake and let them score. And then immediately after that, we scored like 5 minutes into the game. It's 2-1. You know, it's just a crazy game. But we pulled away, got all the goals we needed, so we get a +4. So now it's up to Briarwood to beat Pelham by 3.
Right.
If Briarwood wins by 2, it would have gone to the 4th tiebreaker, and we would have lost that tiebreaker for total goals allowed.
Right.
Pelham would have had us on that. There was no way we could catch them. So we needed Briarwood to win by 3. So we went to the game and
what would happen.
to see what would happen. And Briarwood scored right before halftime. Then they scored again with about 15 minutes left. And of course, then we needed one more. And with about I don't remember how much time was left. It seemed like an eternity, but
Sure.
maybe 7, 8, 9 minutes left. They score a third goal to go up 3-0, and we held our breath when Pelham had any opportunities after that. And luckily the scoreline held, and we got into the playoffs narrowly. Really tragic for Pelham. They deserve to be in the playoffs. They're a top 10 team. They've had a great season, and it's just a shame that somebody's left out. But we're thankful for our opportunity to continue on and be in the playoffs.
Good deal. So then, just this past Monday, you had your last regular season game against Northridge, and you beat them 6-1. Very good win there.
Yeah, we're playing really well. Played so well at Spain Park, and I was afraid, after the emotional, hey, we got into the playoffs, maybe we would let down. And Northridge is a very good team with some good results this year.
Right.
And we kind of just stuck it to them. I mean, really, they scored their goal late when we had some subs in. We were up 6-0, which I couldn't believe. But we just playing extremely well. Just good teamwork, good ball movement, quick ball movement, dynamic play. All the stuff that we want.
Right. So you've got round 1 of the playoffs coming up in 2 days. This Friday, you play at Helena, correct?
At Helena, correct.
Okay.
7 o'clock.
What do you expect to see from the Huskies?
So Helena's scrappy. They're tough. We got some film on them. They're going to challenge us. Their field is notoriously narrow, narrower than most fields. So that means not a lot of space to work with. And when you do receive a pass, you're going to have a defender that much closer to you because there's not as much width.
You're going to have to work fast and vertical, right?
Fast and vertical, and they will as well. And so it's gonna make it a physical game and a tight space kind of game. And
Okay.
but it's just that's what we got to deal with.
That's right. That's right. That's what you get.
Yeah.
So if you win that game, do you kind of have a clue right now of what's after that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the way the bracket's drawn up is our area opponents would potentially play again. So Briarwood plays McAdory, and assuming that they beat McAdory, then if we were to win against Helena, then we'd meet Briarwood in the second round.
Again. Wow.
At Briarwood.
And
so
they're very tough.
Yeah, I don't mind playing them again. I just wish it was a little further down the line and not in the second round.
And maybe not an area game.
Right.
An area opponent.
Well, if we beat them, then they will have gotten eliminated by a team that's beat them twice, which is tragic for them.
Right.
And if they beat us, then we will have gotten eliminated by a team that already beat us twice.
Right.
I'll make somebody else eliminate us.
Yes.
But that's not the way they drew the bracket, so this is what we kind of live with. So
you play the card you're dealt, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. So what players right now have a hot hand? Who's doing really well for you?
Yeah, there's so many. I've talked about Luke Miller earlier in the year, and he's back pretty much 100% now. He scored twice in that Stanhope Elmore game. Nice. Scored a free kick.
Yeah.
Hit another free kick that got saved, but the ball bounced back to him, and he stuck it in. But Max Weaver keeps scoring goals, and Parker Dean keeps scoring goals. Our 2 strikers, and they've really done a great job.
Right.
But there's so many people. Jacob Kano and Harper Jones and Daniel Teixeira in that midfield have done a great job of winning balls and distributing balls to to the wingers and strikers. And I mean, it really has been a great team effort. Even our back line's done really good job lately. So. We feel like we're clicking on all cylinders now. So if we don't get it done, it's going to be our own fault.
Sure. So Coach, that's our show. We appreciate your time. By the way, we can't wait to see what happens in the next week or two. A lot of intrigue.
It's going to be exciting, right?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Fun time of year.
Always. And we thank you for watching. Join us again in a couple of weeks for another Chelsea version of Coach Speak.